Max, just curious, I know being from Katy, do you know Jaden Milroe at all, the Alabama quarterback, and if there's any
I personally don't know him, but there's a couple tight ends that do. Fernando Garza actually played with him growing up, knows him really well. I think they played from like first grade up until like fifth or sixth grade, so he knows him really well. So he's been talking about him all week. Yeah.
We'll go second row on the right to David.
Do you think you guys offensively are thinking too much or trying to not make a mistake? What do you think is happening?
I think whenever you get out there on the field, and obviously you can prepare for a team as best as you can, from scout looks and stuff like that. I think we just need to trust ourselves a little bit more, and just go back to your training. Coach always talks about whenever you get into tough situations and in situations where stress comes, you fall back on your training. I think that comes from us preparing better in the week in terms of our mental preparation. Mississippi State's a team that throws a lot of different blitzes at you, a lot of different looks, 4 down, 3 down. Walking guys from off the ball, on the ball at different times to give you tough looks. So I think it's a little bit of everything, just self-inflicted wounds like I talked about last week. We just got to keep trying to limit those. Mm-hmm.
We'll go back behind the lights on the left side to Tyler.
Max, are you able to draw on last year's experience at all? I mean, it was kind of a similar situation heading into the Alabama game, coming off a couple losses, top-ranked team. You guys able to pull off the upset. Does that experience help at all heading into a kind of a similar matchup?
Yeah, I think absolutely. Coming into a matchup, after 2 tough losses early in the season is hard. But I think something that's important is realizing that SEC football is a week-to-week game. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter about last week. It's always looking forward to this next week, especially against, you're going to play a good team like Alabama. You got to be able to put aside however you've been playing and, just focus on the task at hand, take it day by day, and, preparation-wise, just kind of come together and be like, hey, you know what? We know that if we play good football, we're a really good team. And, we haven't played our best football yet. And so we're looking just to try and capitalize on that.
We'll go front row on the right to Cole.
Max, you've been to Bryant-Denny Stadium before, so you know the atmosphere in Tuscaloosa. When you think about a place like that where teams consistently struggle at moments, do you think that there's something about it that just makes it challenging, but also at the same time, just playing it in front of a packed house with 103,000 fans at Kyle Field better prepare you for atmospheres like that?
I think definitely playing in Kyle Field prepares you for loud atmospheres. I think that Kyle Field is one of the loudest atmospheres in the world. I think that definitely helps, playing on the road, already having heard the noise, and it's a big thing having to learn how to communicate in that noise, especially for young guys. So having that experience going into an away game, especially in a place where it's going to be packed out, sold out house, is super helpful and super important.
And then last year, very similar concept, ranked team, lose to Mississippi State, use that as motivation to go into this Alabama game. Knowing that there is a formula to beat a team like Alabama, even though it is a different roster and it is a different year, does having that in the back burners as a veteran give you the confidence of going into practice this week to say, we know where their faults are and we know where we can actually attack them?
Yeah, I think, Coach Fisher always comes up with a great game plan, especially offensively. When we look back on film in any games, even games that we lose, the plays are there. It just comes down to execution on the field. And I think that, definitely having that win last year and, knowing, hey, we know how to attack this team, we know how to go after their defensive scheme, definitely helps in terms of preparation and a mindset coming into the week.
We'll go third row on the left to Cease.
When you look at the play-by-plays of that game, a changed fumble after that seemed to go down. Did you feel let down? Do you feel the team? Do you kind of feel there was a letdown after that fumble?
I don't think there was a letdown. 8-Chain is a workhorse for us, and the guy plays super hard. And you know what? Sometimes it's football. Things are going to happen, and obviously you got to come to the sideline, just kind of rally the troops and be like, hey, you know what? Sometimes things don't go our way. We don't know why, but let's keep rolling. You got to keep taking steps. We came together. The offensive line came together, and hey, we were getting movement up front. We were moving the guys off the ball. We were running the ball really well that drive. Let's keep doing it. I think, it's sometimes may seem really frustrating. Sometimes things like that, you just got to take the best what you can from the drive and just go from there.
You mentioned that Mississippi State did blitzes from different angles. Did you seem to have more pressure? Were you not able to pick that up? Was that something different than other opponents have done so far on you guys?
I think that, our offensive line, I felt like did a pretty good job in terms of picking up the different blitzes from different angles and stuff. You know, I think that they bring different looks at you because they'll walk big linebackers up on the ball and use them as defensive ends. So they'll show a 3-down look, and you know, for the offensive line, you know, they're talking about Mike calls and stuff who they're going to work to. With 3 down, you're working 2 Mikes, and 4 down, you're working 1. And so when those looks change and they walk safeties in the box and then they'll walk a linebacker down to be a defensive end, it definitely kind of changes your blocking scheme per se. But we prepared for it all week, and we were ready for it. And a lot of the stuff that they showed us, we had seen in practice, and we're ready for.
Any more questions? All right, thank you, Max.